Right now at noon, a weather impact alert is now in effect for the next several days. We're timing things out for you. We're also talking about where you need to go during a tornado warning if you live in an apartment building. You'll miss that a little later. And more tariffs are on the way. Why President Trump is now calling April 2nd Liberation Day. Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor here with meteorologist Nathan Scott, who is busy tracking possible severe weather this week. Nathan, what could we see?
Good afternoon, Jurnee. This is not going to be a sprint of severe weather. It's going to be a marathon. We will have several opportunities over the next several days of severe storms. Along with that, probably some significant flooding issues as well. But here's a breakdown from the Storm Prediction Center, and the severe weather threat ramps up as early as late tonight and Wednesday morning, primarily for northwest Arkansas. But we really want to stay weather aware throughout the day on Wednesday, especially through the afternoon and evening hours. We still have that 3 out of 5 risk for pretty much all of Arkansas. And into Thursday, we have a slight risk of severe weather, and everything is on the table when we talk about what the storms could produce. Large hail, damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, and some tornadoes could be strong, and also flash flooding concerns. We do have a flood alert, a flood watch in effect for a large part of Arkansas, including all of the THV 11 viewing area. This starts Wednesday evening and goes all the way through Sunday morning. Here's what radar could look like 4 o'clock, 4:30 for tomorrow afternoon. And any one of these cells could be supercells, and they could be intense. Today, though, now is the time to prepare. We've got a really nice day lined up. Temperatures right now are into the 60s. The clouds are off into the distance. We'll see increasing clouds later today. Temperatures topping out into the low to mid 70s. I'll have more on the timing of the severe weather potential on your Wednesday and a closer look at future radar coming up.
All right, thank you, Nathan. As we prepare for severe weather, several nearby states are starting the long road to recovery after several overnight storms. From Louisiana to Georgia, the system sent trees into homes, scattered debris across neighborhoods, and destroyed buildings in dozens of communities. Skylar Henry is in Alabama with the aftermath.
It was just before 1 o'clock when the suspected tornado slammed into Dothan Preparatory Academy in southeastern Alabama yesterday, where it ripped off parts of the roof, shocking students and their parents.
I was scared. The wind was blowing so hard and like all this debris and stuff was flying at the same time.
Nearly 1,500 students attend Dothan Prep. Parents of some of the kids inside of the school at the time of the storm say that some were in the gymnasium when they saw the lights begin to flicker and then part of the ceiling collapsed.
I heard from my child texted me and said, "Mom, the gym roof is collapsing on us."
We spoke with Jamie Albright, a mom of a 7th grade student at Dothan Prep. Her son says some of his classmates were screaming as the severe storm tore through.
I assumed my child at this school would have been safe as well, but come to find out, he wasn't.
So what's going through your mind right now?
Very worried about what happens if it gets worse. What happens if there's another tornado? Will my child be safe? 5
students were treated for injuries, 2 of them taken to a hospital. And these storms wreaked havoc elsewhere across the southeast. West of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a tornado with winds up to 120 miles an hour ripped the roof off of a house. And outside Atlanta, an 18-year-old woman narrowly escaped a severe storm that sent a massive tree crashing through her home.
This is the only place we have, and now that's gone.
The National Weather Service will have officials here in the area later today to assess the strength of the storm. We also know that the school district says that it will be conducting an assessment of its own to determine the structural integrity of the school before students are allowed back inside. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Dothan, Alabama.
Well, turning now to one of the most viewed stories on THV11.com. New legislation aimed at assisting President Donald Trump's efforts to secure elections is in front of state lawmakers this week. House Bill 1837 looks to ban foreign nationals and entities from funding or influencing ballot measure campaigns in Arkansas. Secretary of State Cole Jester fully supports the bill, introduced by Republican State Representative Mindy McClendon. He points to a 2018 incident involving the Minimum Wage Act as a key reason for taking action.
We think it should be Americans funding it, not people from Switzerland. And pretty much the way they've been doing it is through different shell groups. I think there's been one in Arkansas, and we have reason to expect more to come.
Under federal law, foreign nationals cannot give to candidates to influence elections, but there is a loophole that doesn't apply to ballot measures. And as a result, foreign funds are influencing ballot measures in Arkansas and across the country. And that's why I filed HB 1837.
Now, the bill requires disclosure of foreign donations that exceed $10,000. Failure to comply will be considered fraud with enforcement by the Attorney General. Lawmakers in the House, state agencies, and governmental affairs will discuss the legislation tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, a new bill that could legalize online casino gambling in the state is gaining traction at the state capitol. This morning, lawmakers in the House Judiciary Committee discuss House Bill 1861. It allows online casino gambling through the state's 3 licensed casinos. Right now, only online sports betting is legal. Supporters of the bill, led by Saracen Casino, argue that legalizing online casino games would help fight offshore gambling and keep gaming revenue in Arkansas. President Trump is gearing up to announce reciprocal tariffs this week. He's now calling April 2nd Liberation Day. While exact details remain unclear, it's creating even more uncertainty among consumers and business owners. Natalie Brand spoke to one of them trying to figure out how the new tariffs will impact his bottom line.
At Ford's Fish Shack in Northern Virginia, owner Tony Stafford says currently around 40% of his seafood comes from Canada. He fears new tariffs could impact his bottom line dramatically.
Every small business owner is concerned. We as restaurateurs have been concerned for the last 5 years. First we had COVID, then we had the increases in pricing and the labor shortages, and we really haven't come out of or gotten back into normalcy, and now all of a sudden these tariffs.
The lack of clarity about this tariff rollout is making it difficult for business owners like Stafford to plan, but he says customers will likely see higher prices.
We've already seen price increases, a lot of price increases. It's been 30, 40, 50% over the last 3 years. We're going to see that again, 20, 25, 30% to combat these tariffs.
President Trump has called April 2nd Liberation Day, but has not divulged exact numbers or details of which countries will be impacted.
Monday, he indicated the rate for tariffs could be lower than what other countries impose on U.S. goods.
We are going to be very nice by comparison to what they were. The numbers will be lower than what they've been charging us.
The reciprocal tariffs come on top of 25% tariffs set to take effect Thursday on foreign vehicles and auto parts. The White House has defended its policy, saying the new tariffs will raise revenue and spur business at home. Well, back at Ford's Fish Shack, Stafford says it will take time to transition and find more U.S.-based suppliers. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ once again opened lower this morning as investors brace for the tariffs. According to the White House, President Trump views Wall Street as a snapshot in time, but says he's focused on doing what's best for all Americans. The Diamond Hogs are taking over Central Arkansas, when and where the nationally ranked team is playing tonight.
And this front is going to be a problem here in Arkansas for the next several days. We're going to have several opportunities of severe weather that will continue all the way into the weekend. Also watching out for the potential of flooding rains. We've got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll have everything you need to know coming up.
And don't forget, new local shows are streaming on THV 11 Plus right after this newscast. Here's a look at what you'll see over the next couple of hours. But remember, you can download THV 11 Plus on your TV and watch for free. And guess what? That now includes people with Samsung TVs. We're back right after this.